Have you ever found yourself running on empty, going through the motions without really feeling connected to what you're doing? That's where I was before this trip. There's a point when you realize you're just tired, not just physically, but emotionally and creatively. I needed this trip, not just to escape, but to find myself again. We live in a world that worships hustle, where productivity is often measured by how much we do, how busy we are, and how little we rest. I've always been someone who pushes through, who keeps going, even when I know I'm running on nothing but coffee and maybe sugar. But as I wandered through the streets of Barcelona, from the towering Sagrada Familia to the narrow streets of the Gothic quarter, I realized something. These iconic places are filled with life and energy, but instead of feeling energized, I realized I was missing the point. I was so focused on seeing everything and doing everything that I wasn't truly experiencing any of it. Even on the subway, surrounded by people, I felt disconnected, like I was just going through the motions. It hit me that maybe, just maybe, it was okay to slow down and not do it all. Rest isn't just about lying down or sitting still. It's about giving yourself permission to move at your own pace and to let go of the need to be constantly productive. As I walked through the narrow streets of Alfama, I felt something shift. The colorful buildings, the quiet moments, they invited me to slow down and just be. Sitting at Castelo de São Jorge, looking out over the city, I didn't feel the usual urge to capture the perfect photo or check off the next item on the list. Instead, these small moments reminded me that it's okay to simply exist and to find joy in the present. Something I hadn't expected was how much inspiration I found just by slowing down and paying attention. In the midst of the busy streets, the street art, the intricate tiles, the history embedded in the architecture, it all started to speak to me in a way I hadn't felt in a long time. Everywhere I looked, there was something that sparked my imagination. A piece of street art that made me pause, a beautifully tiled floor that told a story, even the way the buildings stood, each with its own history and character. It reminded me that creativity isn't always about creating. Sometimes it's about observing, about letting the world around you fill you with new ideas and perspectives. I realized that inspiration is everywhere, if you just take the time to see it. But beyond the beauty of the city and the inspiration I found in the streets, what really stayed with me were the moments of connection. Sharing a meal, laughing with friends, those little moments of joy. They're what made this trip truly meaningful. Like when we finally got our hands on those infamous pastel de nata from Pasteis de Belem. Amazing. Whether it was enjoying crepes, chatting at the plaza while eating gelato at midnight, or just sitting down for brunch at 4 p.m. because we felt like it, these moments weren't about doing something impressive. They were about being present with the people I care about. It's about savoring life in its simplest, most joyful forms. And honestly, that's where I felt the most rest. In those small, meaningful moments that reminded me of what's really important. As I walked down the Guell in Quinta da Regaleria, it felt like a metaphor for what this trip had been. Ascending into the unknown, into a place of quiet and reflection. And just like that well, this journey brought me back up, feeling renewed, inspired, and ready to move forward. It's in those moments of stillness and quiet that we find the clarity we need to truly grow. I came on this trip looking for a break, a way to recharge. What I found was that rest isn't just about doing nothing, it's about finding the space to reconnect with yourself and to rediscover what brings you joy and peace. So if there's one thing I've learned from this trip, that it's okay to take a step back, to slow down, to rest, and to reconnect with what really matters. When you give yourself permission to rest, you're not just recharging, you're laying down the foundation for everything that comes next.